chores, like cooking and cleaning, while your brothers go off to attend school to earn an education. Imagine you really want to go to school, to grow up and get a job. But you can't, because when you grow up, you'll be shipped off to get married to an older man while you will start a family together. This may be just imagination to most of you, including me, but sadly, this is reality to many young girls in Africa and other places in the world. I think it's crucial that we should take action and stop women's inequality. To start off, I think gender equality is extremely important in today's society because it represents the fact that we are past the time in history where men and women had to live by their roles, and that now we can all be who we want to be. But in reality, are we actually past those times? Are we truly past the times where women were treated as objects, where women were viewed as less, where women were married off in their teenage years to start a family with no say in it? While some of you may think we are past these times, I'm here to prove with 4 examples why we are not past these times and ways we can overcome it. In today's society, women aren't represented as much as the men in our country's government. In fact, women aren't represented in a lot of situations. I want you all to think for a moment. Think about all the powerful people in today's world. It can range from powerful politicians to doctors. Are you done? Now, I want you all to separate the people you thought about into genders, from a man to a woman to a non-binary individual. Notice how, for some of you, you thought of more men in power than women in power. It's been proven that women are less likely to be given opportunities in life. In one revealing source, it shows that 1 woman out of 18 men in Australia are cabinet ministers, and only 6 women out of 36 men are government ministers. See what I mean? Women are being unrepresented and excluded from these important decision-making jobs. Women and men should have the same opportunities to get any job they want. So in the end, we can all be included and make this place a better world. To start off, how many of you have children? Raise your hand if you are a mother or father or a guardian for a child. As many of you know, kids can be a little naive. Kids tend to believe really bizarre things. I used to believe that in order to be a mom, you had to go to mom's university, or that in order to change eye colors, you could just paint your eyes with a Sharpie or a crayon. But even though kids can be weird and moody at times, you have to love your kids no matter what. And as much as you love your kids, you want them to grow up and be happy and healthy and live the best possible life. Sadly, that isn't the case for many kids. Many kids, preferably girls, in religious countries like India, have to be married off in their teenage years to start a family. In Pakistan in 2017, 21% of girls were married off by age 18, and 3% of girls were married off by the age of 15. These girls aren't the only ones that are suffering. Girls and women all over the globe experience things like this from men. In one revealing source, it shows how 1 in 3 women worldwide experience physical or sexual violence. And over 4 million women are victims of trafficking and sexual exploitation. This happens so easily because these captors and these abusers are never punished for these acts of sexual violence. This makes women and girls all around the world extremely vulnerable to these experiences. This demonstrates the cruelty women have to go through every day and how broken our world is. The next point I'd like to make is about education. As many of you know, education is a very important thing in a child's life. Education helps your child prepare for adulthood and get far in life. A lot of kids, however, don't get to go to school, especially young girls. In one source, it reveals that 15 million girls worldwide, mainly those who live in poverty, will never be able to get a hold of an education, while only 10 million young boys won't be able to get an education. While all these young boys and girls deserve to get proper education, there's a problematic gender gap in these statistics. Not to mention, girls have a lesser chance of going to school because of the uneducated statements of how girls are most likely to perform poorly in school and never get far in life. These boys and girls should have equal opportunities to education because they both have the chances of succeeding and living a happier, richer life. The last point I'm going to make connects to all of the things I've talked about so far, which is influence. For a long time, young boys and girls have been taught that it's okay to abuse and harass women, and how women are powerless and weak. These teachings harm our children and creates an endless cycle of nothing but suffering. With the start of the 20th century, it's not too late to stop this endless cycle of pain and abuse. We have to start teaching our girls that they are powerful and nobody has the right to violate them in any way. We have to start teaching our boys that these behaviors aren't normal and are not a sign of masculinity, but rather sick and twisted lies that have been fed over the years. If instead of condoning these teachings to our generation, we can teach them how to avoid being part of this situation and avoiding it to make the world a better place for our generation. Women's inequality has been a big problem for a long time, and frankly, it still is. But we've come a long way. By never giving up and standing for what's right. But how can we strengthen this movement? It sounds easier said than done, but by including women more, enforce laws against physical and sexual violence against women, giving equal opportunity for girls and boys across the globe, and influencing our children to not be part of the situation or being a victim of these situations, we can make the world a better place. Thank you.